Good evening. I'd like to remind all of you that we are live streaming this evening, so you'll be famous tomorrow. You can look on YouTube and see yourself. We have several things to do this evening, so I'd like to get started. Mike, if I could have you come up front, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you tonight Mr. Mike Hayden. Mike has been a longtime resident of the city of Vienna, and he's done so many things in our community that I can't name them all, from coach to teacher to SSAC to volunteer. There's just an amazing amount of things that not only Mike but Mike's family have contributed over the years to the city of Vienna. Mike is moving. He is leaving us. He's going to go to the great city of Williamstown.
Already done.
He's gone. Okay? But Mike served on our planning commission for over 20 years. Over 21, actually. 23. 30. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's very rare that you find someone that's willing to give that much time to the city. And you all, if you've lived here a long time, you remember that Mike grew up right next to where the fire station is today. And Mike's dad was Ralph Hayden, and Ralph Hayden was one of the four founders of our Vienna Rec program and did so many things. And Mike filled in his footsteps. And you know, it's great that you've given so much of your life to the city of Vienna and the community through all of your activities. So I'd like to give you this certificate of appreciation to Mike Hayden for your 20 years of dedicated service, and I can change that, to the Vienna Planning Commission. So anyway, if you'd join me please in a
It's really been a privilege, and I'll tell you, serving on the planning commission in a city such as this, and I've lived in other cities during my career, and there's no better place to live than the city of Vienna. I believe that. But there's an omen that happened this week that made me think my leaving Vienna caused Gerald Sennett's house to be demolished. And I remember Gerald Sennett. He was our police chief when I was growing up in the late 40s and early 50s. He was our police department, period. And you didn't mess with Gerald Sennett. You got that back there?
Copy that.
But this is a great city, and I'll tell you, serving for over 30 years on the planning commission, I served with a lot of different people, and not one person served on that planning commission with the idea that they were going to push their own agenda. The only thing they ever thought about was what was best and what was right for the city of Vienna. And I can say that without hesitation or reservation. The one thing that I want to recommend to you and to the city council is, you know, now that I'm out of there, you need to double the pay of the people on that commission. There hasn't been a raise in 30 years.
Yep. We can double that, Mike.
Absolutely. Real easy because it's zero. Thank you very much, and appreciate it.
Mike, thanks. Best to see you. The next thing I'd like to do this evening is introduce you to a couple of very special students that we have in town. Parker, Manny, if you'd come up. Before I read the bio on these two gentlemen, I have to tell you a story. When I got the notification of the awards that these two have won, I have only known one Parker in my entire life. And I had the privilege of being part of a basketball league at Neal School. And without a doubt, not because of his physical size, because he's so much bigger than most of the kids his age, but this young man right here is without a doubt a true gentleman. I have never seen anyone be so considerate of all the other players in that league than Parker. And I didn't know what your last name was. I apologize. You're Parker to me. Okay? And so I was hoping that this was you. And so I remember distinctly They were in the middle of the battle down there at the Neal School gym, and he turned around and there was a girl, this is a mixed league, and there was a girl right there. Well, he bumped into her and she hit the floor. Boy, he stopped right now, helped her up. It was like, I'm really sorry. Okay? I'm telling you, this guy right here is a true gentleman, and Mom and Dad, you should be proud. This guy's, he's special, okay? So, Parker, I'm happy to have you here with me tonight, all right? Manny, it's nice to meet you, all right? I'm going to try to do your name. I apologize if I don't do it right. But let me tell you folks about these two right here. I'm going to read it, so it'll make it easier for me. The regional level math field day was held in March. Manny and Parker competed against the top 3 students per grade level from 8 counties. The regional results for each representative follow. Parker Slattery, regional math field day results, overall placement in Region 5, 2nd place. Emmanuel Debbie? Tuodros. All right. Overall placement in Region 5, 1st place. Special award, Manny received the top score out of all 4th through 6th graders in Region 5. The state level math field day was held in April. Manny and Parker competed against the top 3 students per grade level from 8 regions. The state results for each representative are as follows. Parker Slattery, state math field day results. He did not place in the competitive events. He received the Game Master Trophy out of all 4th graders for the non-competition events. Emmanuel Tuodros, state math field day results. Overall placement in West Virginia, 5th out of all students. Congratulations. It's amazing. You need to show those folks. You have some too? Wow.
The state math field day, 5th place.
Okay. Keep going.
And first place plaque from the regional math field day, and then the top scorer plaque from this regional math field day.
Okay, let's turn your plaques around. Hold them up.
Mayor, what makes that so special too is both those kids are from Neal School. I mean, they're in the same school. To have Neal School represented at the state level like that was it's just an amazing feat for the teachers there. And my boy Chaz is friends with both of them, and moms and dads, you got some good kids right there, just quality kids and top-notch kids. So you parents have done a good job with these 2 boys right there.
They're great. So Jeff, are you going to take our picture?
Right now.
All right. Get the plaques. That's important stuff. Hardware. Okay. All right. Give you this one back. Congratulations. Parker, congratulations. I'm going to keep an eye on you. Congratulations.
Awesome.
We had no one sign up for the public forum this evening, so we're going to move right past that. Chief Piper, if you would, please. Sure.
We haven't started the meeting yet.
Good evening. I wanted to give you all a brief background here on the upcoming proclamation for National Police Week and National Peace Officers Memorial Day. Again this year, communities across the United States, which now include the city of Vienna, will come together during National Police Week, which is May 13th through the 19th, to honor and remember those law enforcement officers who made the ultimate sacrifice, as well as family members, friends, and fellow officers that they left behind. There are more than 900,000 law enforcement officers in the United States that include the members of the Vienna Police Department. And in 2016, more than 58,000 assaults happened against law enforcement. This year, the names of 360 officers killed in the line of duty are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. These 360 officers include 129 officers who were killed during 2017, plus 231 officers who died in previous years, but whose stories and sacrifice have been lost to history until now. On May 15th of each year, the Fraternal Order of Police and the Fraternal Order of Police Auxiliary host a ceremony on the west steps of the U.S. Capitol to honor fallen law enforcement officers and their families. There have been, since the first recorded death of a law enforcement officer was in 1791, and since that time, there has been over 22,000 who have made that ultimate sacrifice. So I wanted to mention the Officer Down Memorial page, which is on the internet, and who partly sponsor this. They're a nonprofit organization dedicated to honoring America's law enforcement heroes. The countless stories of selfless courage and heroism preserves their memories within the pages of that website, and that is also a website that you can download an app on your phone, which I have, which is a humbling reminder of those officers who have made that ultimate sacrifice, and it's far too often that you get an update on your phone of that happening. So I want to thank you, Mayor and Council, for observing this day. It's a very special day for law enforcement, for this upcoming proclamation. So thank you very much.
Okay. As you all may have noticed on the agenda, we kind of got things out of order, but I did that for a reason. If you all would stand with me, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation. Chief Pfeiffer, if you would lead us in the pledge, please.
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Rogers, are you feeling well enough to? Okay.
Let us pray. Our God, our Father in heaven, we thank you for this beautiful day that you have given to each and every one of us. We thank you for the blessings you've also given to each of us. Tonight we pray that you'll be with council, mayor, guide us as we go about the business of the city. We continue to pray for those serving in the military in harm's way. Be with them, guard them, protect them. These things we pray in Christ's name, and amen.
Amen. Amen. I now have a proclamation that I would like to read for National Police Week and National Peace Officers Memorial Day. Whereas our law enforcement agencies play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms which have been guaranteed by the Constitution to every American citizen. And whereas it is important that people throughout our country know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police departments, and that members of our law enforcement agencies recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas the nation's police departments have grown to be modern and scientific law enforcement bodies which unceasingly provide a vital public service, and whereas the Congress, by a joint resolution, approved June 21st, 1961, has designated the week of May 13th through 19th, 2018, as Police Week in recognition of the contribution the police officers of America have made to our civilization through their dedicated and selfless efforts in enforcing our laws, and has also designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of the federal, state, and municipal peace officers who have been killed or disabled in the line of duty. And whereas that resolution requests that the President to issue a proclamation inviting the people of the United States to observe such period with appropriate ceremonies and activities. Now therefore, I, Randall C. Rapp, Mayor of the City of Vienna, do hereby call upon the people of the City of Vienna and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 13th through 19th, 2018, as Police Week in commemorating police officers past and present who by their faithful and loyal devotion to the responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to our community, and in doing so have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. I further call upon the people of the City of Vienna to observe Tuesday, May the 15th, 2018, as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those peace officers who through their courageous deeds have lost their lives or who have become disabled in the performance of duty. dated this day, 2018. Mike, to you and your men, thank you. The next item that we have this evening is a presentation by Mr. Tim Thomas from the Mid-Ohio Valley Transit Authority.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, members of council, thank you for allowing me to speak here tonight. Pardon my voice, I've got that stuff's going around. But first of all, we want to thank you and the citizens of the city of Vienna for their support of our bus levy. Everyone knows that Tuesday it did pass by a record percentage of 83%. And we want to thank everyone for their continuing support and having the faith of the Public Transit Authority to provide public transit service to this great city. That leads me into my presentation. We have an opportunity at the Transit Authority to receive another federal grant through the West Virginia Division of Public Transit. It's called the Section 53 Mobility Management Grant. This will allow us at no cost to the city or the taxpayers of the city of Vienna a possibility to expand beyond our regular service. We are limited right now when it comes to seniors and individuals with disabilities to only go 3/4 of a mile off regular fixed routes. With this grant, we're requesting $100,000 to provide extra service at no charge to the citizens. And this will allow us to work with the disability community and the senior citizens to meet the ADA, extension of the ADA federal requirements that we currently are under. If we receive the grant, it will help us break down barriers that were limited. Mayor Rapp and I have talked several times. One of my main goals when I came to MOVTA was to have a regionalized transit system. Of course, you know, federal dollars are very weak right now, and the possibility of MOVTA actually doing that is probably very slim. What we want to do now is work with local stakeholders, local other public transit providers in the area like the Wood County Seniors, some of the other mental health facilities, and to expand out the community. With this grant, we will set up a call center at our downtown location, and anybody that needs transportation will call one number, and we will take it upon ourselves at the call center, call individual transit providers and see if they will provide that. It will also allow us to receive a vehicle from the Division of Public Transit, and we will actually go out and provide that service too. And it'll be a smaller bus, but we can basically do that with our current staff. We will not increase any staff or anybody like that to do that. Our main goal for this project is to meet the needs of individuals with disabilities and senior citizens. Mayor Rapp and I had talked with a couple of my staff members a couple weeks ago. We told them what we was going to do, and we would like to basically start working with the local senior center. We understand that the local senior center does not have public transit or transit provider to bring people into the transit center. We would like to work with the director, if it's all possible, to set this up, just be another voice for us, and work along with them, and just start here in the city of Vienna and stretch it out to possibly, you know, if somebody needs to go to Williamstown or Mineral Wells or over to Belpre. That's been a talk for several years to allow us to do that. But like I said, we'll set up the call center, provide the transportation, work with our stakeholders, doctors. You know, a lot of people need to go to the doctor, and we'll work with the medical facilities to try to coordinate their appointments so we can have several people come in there at one time, instead of, you know, someone having to go on Monday or Friday or whatever. So we'll even do that at the call center. But our main goal is to set up a more regionalized transit system, and to allow people to travel further. We're looking, like I said, at the shuttle bus to venture out into other areas. But the key of it is we receive telephone calls all the time. People needing where we can't go. And some of the places are in the city limits, unfortunately, but we are restricted by ADA under the Federal Transit Administration can only go 3/4 of a mile off. We do cover a lot of area in the Parkersburg and Vienna area, but there's still little places that we cannot go because we're restricted. But with this grant, it will allow us to break those barriers and go and transport the individuals that need it. And like I said, our call center, we're looking at starting that would be 8:30 to 6. People would call in between 8:30 and 6, Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays, 8:30 to 4:30. Of course, we are closed on Sundays. So I want to thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to working with the city of Vienna and hopefully receiving this grant and making this a reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim. Any questions from council this evening? All right. Tim, thank you. Mike, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mayor.
Adam, would you introduce our next speaker, please?
Sure.
Hello, everybody. Tonight on the agenda, under new business, we have a bid approval for you, and it's for the IT department, data center fire suppression. And I've asked Mark from Brewer Fire Company to join us. He traveled from Charleston.
Yes, sir.
Okay. To give you guys a demo of this technology. I thought it would make it something that's tangible instead of we're just putting in a fire suppression system and you guys not being able to see actually how cool and what it really does. So I'm going to let Mark speak on this to give you guys an idea before we do the approval. So at that note, I'll turn it over to Mark.
Thank you, sir.
Here you go.
Perfect. Good evening, council. How's everyone doing tonight, okay?
Good.
Good, good. I've got to demonstrate this on the fire suppression system. Would you rather come down here, or can I approach the bench and bring it up to you guys? What would you prefer?
What's easiest for you?
Probably if you come down here.
We can do that.
And thanks for doing that. And anybody from the audience, if you want to come up here, you're more than welcome to see it if you want.
Liability purposes, I'll just watch for that.
Okay. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to protect the data center. Within the data center, all the IT hardware, the software, we're trying to make it so there's no disruption in the city business processes. So we're trying to ensure there's always command and control communications. So we're going to switch from a water-based fire suppression system to essentially this chemical, which is called Novec 1230. This system is totally safe. It does not displace oxygen. So any of the city employees or any of the IT professionals are able to be in the protected space without being harmed. Okay. So the way we actually suppress fire, we intercept molecular activity, we slow down the molecules so fire can't exist. Let me demonstrate that now. You'll feel the cards are cold. That's from the molecules being slowed down. I use a solid because it's a more pronounced effect, okay? Again, it's safe for all biologicals. We're not going to displace oxygen, and it's electrically non-conductive. So we're going to pretend my cell phone is the high-value asset or the city servers. I'm going to go ahead and submerge it in this, and you can still see that my high-value asset is still powered up, and there's no problems. Okay? Anybody bring a phone with them tonight? Can you call my phone real quick?
Yeah, I've got your number.
While he's doing that, this liquid has almost the same density as air. I can touch it. I have no fear of touching it. Okay, there's Adam now. Okay, so you got me on speaker?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear it on his phone?
Yeah, I can.
So if we were in a true water, we wouldn't be able to do that. Number one, the phone would short out. Number two, sound doesn't travel the same. It has almost the same density as air. So let's say that the system does release. How do we clean it up? If anybody's familiar with the old Halon systems, it's an oily, powdery residue. It takes weeks to clean up once it's dispersed. I'm going to show you how we clean this up. It's all air movement. So by the time I'm done talking, this napkin is completely dry. Okay? I'll do that one more time. And you can see it's soaked. Okay? This is the latest in fire suppression technologies, and it's almost dry. Okay? And at the same time, if the system does release, your IT department probably is never going to know it because the event unfolds and the fire is suppressed in less than a 10-second window. We have to do that by fire code. We're also going to use very hypersensitive smoke detection. So like the smoke detectors that could be in this building, ours are about 10 times more powerful. So we're going to pick up electrical arcing and smoke in the what we call the incipient stage. That's the earliest form of fire. So like I said, the system will detect it, will suppress the fire before anyone even knows what's going on. The only time they'll know something's going on, we're going to fire some horn strobes, but when the gas does disperse, it's a pretty loud situation that occurs. So people beside the IT data center, they'll know by hearing the system go off. But again, from start to finish, less than a 10-second window, which ensures none of the city operations, command, control, or communications go down, because everything routes through those data servers. Okay. Am I allowed to light a fire in here?
Chief
Very
Schulte,
small
can you
one?
stand up here?
You're with the fire protection business, you go ahead.
Okay, good deal. I need a volunteer, sir, can you help? And I'm letting you do it so you control the trigger, okay?
Russell, is there any liability here?
Oh,
Who
you with a
cares?
lighter?
Okay, I'm shaking this up because there's inert gas in here. We mix this liquid with an inert gas. Anybody want to take a guess what that is? It's nitrogen. Anybody want to guess why? Nitrogen is a very non-reactive gas. We don't want to put anything reactive into a fire situation. So if you'll go ahead and light that, sir, then hold it horizontal like this. So by the shaking, I converted it from a liquid state and I converted it to a gas in this space here. And it's heavier than air. So you see that vapor trail right there? That distortion effect? Okay.
It worked.
That's what it did.
It
Yeah.
worked.
So we combine this liquid and nitrogen. That's what protects the city servers and makes sure they don't go down. Anybody want to see that again?
Sure.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Want to help again, sir?
No, Roger, you're the expert.
We'll do it for the audience.
That's a childproof lighter, Roger.
There you go. Lower it down a little bit. Yeah, hold the trigger. Now
I put them out, I didn't start them.
Right, so audience, if you watch this, right as I tip it, you're going to see a distortion effect going towards the flame. That's actually the agent that's going to suppress the fire.
That's cool.
Okay? Thank you, sir. So again, it's safe for everyone. We're here to protect the city processes. There'll be no downtime. That means command, control, and communications are uninterrupted. It's also very safe for the building, too. If there ever was a fire in the building, the secondary benefit is some of the employees could run into the IT data center if other egress points aren't available because of a fire, and they'd be able to stay in there up to 30 minutes because we have to seal the room for up to 30 minutes. So a lot of good benefits to this, and this is cutting-edge technology here.
Mark, could you elaborate on why this system is superior to a powder-based system or traditional?
Sure.
why we're not doing something like that. It should be on, I believe.
So the question is, why is this superior to a powder-based system? If you could get a powder-based system, the problem with that is, in the event of a fire, the system release, it would be a catastrophic event because with that release, the byproduct of it is moisture. So if that were to get in the data servers in the chassis, number one, it would short out all the computer equipment. Number two, whoever had to clean it up, they'd be in there for about 2 weeks trying to get all that stuff out of there. In other words, if I had to guesstimate the value of the hardware for this city, you're probably looking at $200,000. So the equipment would be ruined with the fire and with the release of the agent, the dry powder agent. So in the end, you would have to replace all this equipment anyway. So with this, if it releases, it's electrically non-conductive, safe for all biologicals, and it will suppress a fire quickly. This was actually made by 3M Corporation. The way it was discovered, this is the propellant to respiratory inhaler medications. So when you see someone use that, they're essentially inhaling this in a gaseous state. The reason is because it's safe for biologicals. They can get more medicine into the patient's lungs, and it was discovered by accident. 3M made another product that was discovered by accident. Anybody know what that is? Post-it. That's it, Post-it notes. They set out to design an industrial adhesive, and in the process, they made the Post-it note. This was geared towards the pharmaceutical industry, and now they brought it to us, fire protection contractors. We went crazy over it because we knew the benefits of it. So this is also being used for fire protection. So. Any questions?
All right. Mark, very nice.
Okay.
Very nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right.
I would just like to add, this is a budgeted item from last year's budget, so there's that.
I guess I should be happy, right?
Yeah, well, you'll know in a minute. All right.
Thanks for your time, everyone.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mark. Okay. All right. I'd like to call to order this regular session of Vienna City Council for May the 10th, 2018. Let the record reflect that I've taken roll that all members of council, with the exception of Mr. Leach, are here this evening. Mr. Leach is out of town tonight, so having a quorum, we will proceed. The minutes from the regular council meeting held on April the 26th, 2018 have been printed, posted, and circulated. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If there are no objections, then the minutes will stand approved as posted. In your packet or on the Dropbox, you should have a reconciliation of funds dated May the 10th, 2018. By looking at the reconciliation of funds, you will see that the city is solvent and our bills are paid. We have no unfinished business this evening, so we'll move right into new business. Mrs. Roberts.
Sealed bids for the data center fire suppression system were opened on April 30th, 2018 with the following results. Brewer and Company of West Virginia, $22,700. This went through Budget and Finance. It is the recommendation to proceed with this bid. The budgeted amount of this has been budgeted in the city's general fund. Adam.
I don't know that I have any more to add, but I can happily answer any questions you may have.
Okay.
All right. After a careful review of the bid proposals, the recommendation for council approval from the Budget and Finance Committee for the data center fire suppression system is Brewer and Company in the amount of $22,700. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the bid for $22,700.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the bid from Brewer and Company. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the bid from Brewer and Company in the amount of $22,700, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Mark, you can send us our equipment.
You got it, sir.
All right.
I'll get right on it immediately.
Thank you very much.
Business Council.
Amy, if you would continue with item number 2, please.
Sure. Internal budget revision, number 2, should be in your Dropbox. It is moving just a small amount of money within the fire department, and then covering a salary issue within the street department. This is an internal budget revision, so this is moving monies from within their departments. Do you have any questions?
All right. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of internal budget revision number 2.
I move for approval.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve internal budget revision number 2. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor of internal budget revision number 2, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. The next item on our agenda this evening is a resolution authorizing the contract with the Reclaim Company LLC. At a previous council meeting, we approved the low bid for Reclaim LLC. This is the contract with Reclaim LLC so that we can get started with the project. Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Vienna that it hereby authorizes the mayor and/or his designee to execute an agreement with Reclaim Company LLC for the demolition and removal of structures containing transite and other asbestos materials from the part of the property that once contained the Johns Manville Industrial Site at 2905 2nd Avenue, Vienna, Wood County, West Virginia. This is the project where we received the Brownsfield grant, and the low bid from Reclaim LLC was $198,000. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the resolution to approve the contract.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution to approve the contract. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. And all those in favor of the resolution, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. The last item on our agenda this evening is an ordinance to amend the composition of the Vienna Recreation Board of Parks and Recreation. This will be an ordinance on first reading, and this change to the composition of the Vienna Board of Parks and Recreation is to allow the city forester to be part of the board of the Parks and Recreation. So, Russell, if you'd like to read that, please.
Thanks. Be it ordained by the Common Council. Be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Vienna that the Vienna Parks and Recreation Board ordinance shall read as follows. It is the intent of this ordinance to add the city forester to the board. 137.03 Appointment and Qualifications, except as provided in section 137.04, the Board of Parks and Recreation shall consist of A, 2 members who shall also be members of the Board of Directors of the Recreation Association, B, 2 members who shall be selected at large from the residents of the city, C, the city forester or any successor position, D, 1 member shall be a member of council, E, 1 member shall be the director of parks. Number 2, at least 30 days before the expiration of the term of office of any member appointed from the Recreation Association, such body shall submit to council the names of 2 nominees and shall designate which of the nominees shall be given first consideration for appointment by the council. Council has the right to appoint one of the nominees, giving first consideration to the nominee recommended. In the event the council sees fit to reject both nominees, council shall request an additional list from which to make the appointment. Number 3, the mayor or council members shall nominate, and council shall appoint the members to be appointed from the residents at large and from members of council. Number 4, in the event council is unable to make the appointments in the method provided above, council has the right to appoint such residents as it may deem necessary to fill any expired term. Oh, well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? 5, each member, with the exception of the city forester and director of parks, shall be a resident of the city. 6, in the event the city does not employ a city forester, that position shall be selected at large from the residents of the city.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval on first reading of an ordinance authorizing the appointment of the City of Vienna forester to the Park Board.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve on first reading the changing in the ordinance to approve the appointment of the City of Vienna Forester to the Park Board. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the ordinance on first reading, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. That concludes our agenda this evening. We now go to council comments. Councilman, anything to say this evening?
I got a question for Adam.
Yes, sir. The live stream wasn't posted, April 26th meeting, it wasn't on.
It was at the bottom of the thing, if
It's
you go
there
and
now.
look on the website.
I post them, so how that works is, essentially, it captures the video. That video is then encoded and uploaded, and then stored at YouTube. So during that process, it's not really posted, and then the following morning, depending on how things are when I get to work, I get that posted, and it's in a playlist under council minutes.
Okay.
And actually, I think, matter of fact, maybe a week or so ago, I flip-flopped them because it was actually doing them in opposite order from oldest to newest, and now it's newest to oldest. So every time you go to that list, it should have the newest first. But I date them and then post them in that playlist. So go to City of Vienna YouTube and you'll see them listed. And if it's not, get me on the horn and let me know.
They just asked me, so I didn't watch it.
Okay. Anything else?
Do we have any update as far as the risk assessment from Mr. Rebar to Eric Hancock yet?
No.
Still waiting?
Yes. Anything else? Yes, sir, Roger.
At our last council meeting, immediately after we voted on whether to close Spencer's Landing or not, somebody from the audience, as soon as the vote was taken, made the comment, "What a joke." The more I think about that, the more it bothered me. I don't know who said it. I don't care who said it. But I do want to say this. Nothing we do in here is a joke. Everything is serious. You may not agree with what we do. You have an opportunity to voice that disagreement in a public forum. But folks, the stuff we deal with is serious. And that comment has bothered me for 2 weeks. So there's going to be disagreements. As you know, we disagree on council. Some citizens are going to disagree with us. But, for comments like that, to say it's a joke, it's not a joke. This is serious business. And this council takes the business serious. And so I just wanted to get that off my chest, and hope everyone would take that information for what they think it's worth. So, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? I have one item I'd like to do, and I hate to do this because I know I'm going to embarrass him, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to let this go by. Craig, would you stand, please? Earlier this week, Craig and some of the men that he works with were on a four-wheeler ride out in the country, way out in the country. And one of the men ate a piece of peanut brittle. And unfortunately, this piece of peanut brittle got stuck in his throat. And this is a really large man that got choked. And so he passed out because he could not breathe. And Craig realized that he was in trouble and went over and grabbed him and did the Heimlich maneuver on him and saved his life. And so, Craig, you're a hero. I know you don't like to hear that. I'm sorry, but you know what? I appreciate the fact that you were trained and you knew what to do, and I'm sure that that gentleman appreciates it a lot. And anyway, thank you. I mean, I'm telling you. Okay. So now, I'm sorry I embarrassed you, but too bad. All right.
Actually,
All right, there you go. I'm sorry?
I got the training here, which I appreciate, and it'd been nice if he'd actually remembered it. He didn't. I told him that's the last hug he'll ever get from me.
Oh, it's so funny. All right, with that. Meeting adjourned.